Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and the game we're going to talk about today is Full Throttle. So, out of all the LucasArts adventure games for the PC, Full Throttle was my personal favorite one. This game had a pretty awesome plot, pretty awesome characters, a pretty awesome setting, like a biker setting, and like you had a pretty awesome voice cast too, like Mark Hamill, Kath Soucie, Nick Jameson, and all these awesome voice actors that you probably heard in like every cartoon ever. So I remember my first exposure to this game was when I went to this computer store called Egghead Software back in the mid-90s. I saw this game playing on the screen and I was like totally blown away by its animation and its voiceovers. Yeah, and I told myself, man, I want to get that game. And it's kind of funny, like my friend let me borrow Dark Forces for the PC, and it came with a demo of Full Throttle, and I never really beat Dark Forces because I spent more of my time playing the Full Throttle demo rather than Dark Forces. Yeah, so kind of after my 8th grade graduation in 1995, I went out and purchased this game because my parents gave me a whole bunch of money. And I remember I got as far as the part where you're in the junkyard and you have to avoid the dog, and I didn't really know how to get past the dog for the longest time. Yeah, so once I kind of figured out how to get past the dog, the rest of the game was pretty smooth sailing from there. I remember beating the game pretty much in about 3 to 4 days without any help. Especially since I didn't have the internet at the time. And dude, there were like so many memorable moments of this game that if I were to explain them all, I mean, I'd pretty much be spoiling the entire game, and this video would be like over an hour. So if I had to choose maybe one or two, the first one is when you have to go into that guy Todd's trailer, who's played by Mark Hamill, and then Ben has to kick down the door, and then Todd's just lying down, unconscious after you kick the door, and Ben is like, "This view defines true beauty." Yeah, and one of my other favorite parts is when Ben is accused of killing Maureen's father, and so he's kind of like tied up and being pulled apart by motorcycles, and then there's this one part you can choose, "I'm gonna call you names," and I remember that being really funny. Yeah, and I really enjoyed the combat scenes, especially the first one where that one guy from the rival gang is like insulting you and you're like, "That does it," and you're like, pow, 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 you just knock him off the bike. And I've played through this game like so many times, I can still kind of remember the beginning, kind of heart for heart almost. Like, "You're waiting for me to die, Rip Bugger, so you can take over my company." Yeah, and my major disappointment with this game, well not actually the game itself, was there was never a sequel, because I know LucasArts was going to make a sequel and they did have a screenshot of it, but it never came to fruition, which really sucks. I mean, I know like the main voice actor for Ben, Roy Conrad, passed away in 2002, so I don't know if that was the main cause, but yeah, they never got around to making the Full Throttle sequel, man. Yeah, and the reason why Full Throttle is so good is because it was directed by the legendary Tim Schafer, who did Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango, and most of you probably remember him for Brutal Legend. Well, sadly, since LucasArts is no longer in the gaming business, you can't really get this game anymore on GOG.com or Steam, so you pretty much have to go on eBay and buy the CD-ROM. And you have to use Scum VM to play it, which plays it perfectly, so I highly recommend doing that. Yeah, so that was Full Throttle for the PC, one of my personal favorite point-and-click adventure games. And I hope some company, Disney, will pick up where LucasArts left off and release this game to work on modern computers. And that wraps up this episode of Awesome Video Game Memories. I'm Ryan, and if you liked that video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you have any personal memories about this game, make sure to leave those in the comments below. And if there's a game that you would like for us to talk about here on Awesome Video Game Memories, make sure to leave those in the comments as well.